These are our anemones, and this is what you should expect from 1 week from starting. Not very much going on just yet. And then at 2 weeks, can you see the first shoots are starting to emerge from the soil surface? And then at 3 weeks, can you see we do have some stragglers? So they are a natural product. They won't all come up in a uniform way, but 3 weeks, almost everybody's up. But they are coming. And then at 4 weeks, now this is just one anemone in a pot. These are the ones that I started right at the beginning, when we were still packing the orders up, do you remember? And then this is at 5 weeks. So that's quite a long time. So if your tray is just looking like this at the moment, just be careful that you don't overwater it. But this is completely normal. So these are the ranunculus, and I don't have one at 1 week because I did these on Sunday and it's only Wednesday today. So they've just been done a couple of days. So we're not expecting much movement, but can you see they're all puffed up still because the compost is nice and moist. So I will cover these back over. So this is about the two and a half week mark. And can you see, I've just lifted this one gently out because it didn't look like anything was going on at the soil surface. This is just to give you a bit of confidence. Didn't look like anything was going on, but he is coming. As I say, it's a natural product, so they're not all going to come up. It's not like an iPhone. They come up when they're ready. So, and then this is now the 3 week mark, and you can see everybody is out of bed. This stage, they're then safe from mice, as long as you haven't got an infestation or a really bad problem, but they should be safe because what happens is the mice steal the corm and run off with it rather than eating it in situ. And they can't now because the corm is slowly turning into a plant and it's firmly anchored in. And then this is the 4 week mark. Now I've put 2 trays out for you, so I want you to be able to see the difference between the leaves. So this is the pastel lemon, and can you see this variety's got quite a fresh apple green colour to its leaves, where this is the warm pastel and it's got a duller leaf. So I don't want you to think, if they don't all look the same, that your plant's got some kind of disease. They also will get some markings on their leaves depending on the variety. So I just wanted to show you so you know that's completely normal. And this is 4 weeks completely safe from being pinched. By pinched, I mean stolen by rodents and squirrels and things like that. Now, this is the 5 week mark, and I've put both the ranunculus and the anemones together, so you can see that although the anemones are slower to get going, once they do get going, they catch up with the ranunculus. And this is the vital stage. At this point, this is when they start to make their leaf canopy. And if they don't make a good enough leaf canopy, they will not flower properly. So it is vital that you get them to the brightest part of your garden. At this stage, they're fine on the kitchen work surface. They don't need much light. We're just getting them going. But once the canopy of leaves is up, that's when it gets really important. So I'm bringing you back now to the Grow Along Live. This is today. Now, my plants are at slightly different stages because I staggered my sowing of the corms because I've got quite a few to do. It's much better to do them when you've got time. So the only difference between these ones here, which are all coming beautifully, these ones and these ones is about a week. So once they do get going, they get off to a flying start. Just run you along the whole of the top shelf here. So you can see I've got a few that I started in pots where I just needed one more corm. Didn't need a whole tray, just one more corm. I put them in a pot. So I run you along. So if you're at all worried about your corms and you haven't seen any action on them, then you can give them a bit of a kickstart by taking them indoors. But please be careful because they really will get a kickstart. Nowhere too warm, by the back door, just somewhere with a steady temperature. If you take them in the sitting room, they'll think it's summer and go back to sleep. These are anemones, and they always take longer than the ranunculus, we know that. So take them indoors, and then as soon as you see their little heads emerging from the soil, then you need to whip them outside. and slow down that growth, because what will happen is these stems will just carry on growing taller and taller, getting thinner and thinner, and what you want is them to turn into little trees. Look at those, aren't they cute? So the foliage canopy will only open if they've got enough light. These are the pastel, looking beautiful. So again, the difference between the rate of growth on the corms is nothing more than the order in which I started them. And finally, let's have a catch up with the Butterfly Ranunculus. They are slightly slower than the rose-shaped Ranunculus, but they are all coming, and they are going to have a massive canopy of leaves once they get going, which is why we've given them quite big pots. The most important thing with these larger containers is to make sure that you don't overwater them. If you're at all worried that you've overwatered them, if you head to my website, there is a video showing you how to carefully remove your corm, mix this compost with some dry, and then repot. You can see, if you look carefully, they are all coming. And again, if you want to, you can take them indoors for a quick kickstart. But again, you want to make sure that you don't end up with leggy growth. You can see that the leaves are opening really low down for nice stocky plants. So hopefully this will give you a little bit of confidence with your corms if you're growing along with me. If you'd like everything written down for you, then there are the handbooks. So this is the new 2023 Anemone Ranunculus and new Butterfly Ranunculus full edition, as well as having all of your comprehensive advice for the individual corms. You also have this checklist included in the full edition, which has got your flowering times all written down in one place for you. It smells incredible in here, and we are trying to take a picture of anemones.